Alright guys, today I'm here with the first airplane of a new series I hope to come out with. Well, I guess, I don't know what the series is going to be called, but right now we're coming from Flight Test Extreme is our name. And this is our first one. It is a 80-inch wingspan, extra 300, and it is all dollar tree foam board. And let's just check it out. Alright, so here we are at the front of the airplane. We have a cowl up here. I don't know if you want to call it that, but we just have an easy come off like hood in the front. This all just comes off 4 pieces of tape. And then in here is where we have the power system, power setup, whatever you want to call it. So right now we are running 2 3-cells, 4,000 milliamp hour Nanotechs from Hobby King. They are $40, so it's $80 for technically one battery because we're running them in series, so we get 6 volts of power to our E-flite 60 motor, running a 17 by 4 prop. It's a little bigger than it's supposed to be, but since the pitch is so low, it runs fine. We have an Orange RX receiver in here. We don't have any problems with them. Some people do. Whatever you prefer, it doesn't matter. And we actually, right underneath the battery on the underside, we have our Hobby King Plush ESC. That's a 100 amp ESC with I don't know, whatever volt VSC in it. So this is the main power setup. As you can see, it's not all, foam. We have balsa here. That's a lot more than we used to have because on the last crash, it just destroyed all of this. So we kind of had to stick some light ply in there, but it does, it's only that much balsa, so it's still foam plane, but we should have the plans to that. This is just how we set it up here, and we're gonna head to the back. Thanks. Alright, so just behind our battery system here we have this, which is a canopy. It's just black, or actually it's real white poster board, then we just put black construction paper over it. And we just had it out at Joe Nall, so it was out in the sun a lot, and it faded because you can see this part was under here, so that's what color used to be. It used to be black, but whatever. Anyway, so under there we have our servos that are mounted. Really, you can mount them anywhere in this area, and your CG won't be too bad. We tried putting them in the back of the plane. At first, we had them in the back of the plane, and it was a bad idea, so we took them out before we even flew it. Then we put them back up here. We put them up here, and we had them set kind of like this, and I flew it for a while, and then my dad wanted to try something, so we put them in the back, and it was way too tail heavy, and that's when it stalled, went nose in, and blew up everything up front. So I just recommend you put them here just to keep weight towards the front, because it doesn't have a big enough motor weight wise to help fix the CG, so just putting those up more can help you, so you don't have to worry about that at all. We have standard size servos. These are Metal Gear, I believe, and we're just using this I don't know what it's called, but it's just like the plastic tube on the outside, and then it's got a little nylon rod that goes through it, and you just cut it to however long you want, and then I don't know, it just works great. Then for I don't know, just however big you want to make these servo arms, it's just whatever throw you want, but you might want to go with a bigger servo. We've never actually stripped a servo in the air, but we have when we haul it. I don't know, that's just because we're not good at storing it or what. And also, if you notice, we have balsa rods. They're not rods, they're just square like pieces that we glue down here to help keep the servo from going anywhere, and it's cut and put in a hole also. And then if you see, this is a pretty big piece here. It's not just there to hold the servos. It does help for having that because these have a lot of power, but it also creates strength for the fuselage to keep it from bowing in and out and just structural everywhere. And that's pretty much it for the mid-area servos. We're going to go look back and look at our linkages now. Alright, so now we're at the back of the plane. Here's how I set up my linkages. We have these, I don't know what you want to call them. They're just a weird shape that has a nut that you tighten down to it. And the same thing on the other side, you have to get it on. And this actually has the end of the screw, so the screw head goes into a little deal. You stick that on this side, and then you get your black piece all the way down to your wood. Yeah, you need a piece of wood there. And then you just tighten that nut down onto it, and then you just screw this on to wherever you want it. Most of you probably just know that. I'm just making sure, so you don't know how experienced everyone is. And then also, if you see, we have, just for cool looks, I don't know, we have this Adams foam board deal, but that doesn't matter. And then over here, we have the same setup. It's just on the bottom, and this one we didn't put foam on the top, or a piece of wood up here. We probably should have done something because it's starting to dig in, you can see, but I don't know, it's doing fine because we have this big piece of wood that helps support the elevator. But in the plans, we're going to try to make that not be just sticking out like that, because it kind of doesn't look good and it causes weird drag, but I haven't noticed anything. But we're just going to try to fix that. And then for the tail wheel, as you can see, it has one of these that just sticks out both sides, and it has just 2 springs on either end because it's attached here and there, and it just turns it with the springs. I don't know. I don't taxi it a lot, but it works good enough. But if you're just sitting it there, it likes to break, but that's just it. Alright, now we're going to go take a look at the wing, the underside of the wing. So now we're at the underside of the wing, and this is how we did the servos for this. We did little like hinges that go through with screws and then just attach it to wood. I don't know, it's whatever you really prefer, but that works fine. It's not really high duty, but it works. And if you notice, we have really strong linkages, but that would probably break first, but that doesn't matter. And you might say, what? You screwed into foam? How does that work? No, actually, we cut a big square about that big, probably about as big as this panel. We fixed it before, but it's not. It's bigger than that, or about that size, but it's up here. And then you cut a hole for your servo, and then you screw right into that wood, and you glue. Well, first you glue the wood up to the foam, and so it gets strength. So right all in here, we have wood just supporting this one servo, so it's not going to go anywhere. It's really sturdy in there. So if anything, it's just going to strip, but that's not likely because it's a big standard Metal Gear servo. And so yeah, that's how we did it. Got our linkages. It is about 1/3 from the center of the wing. I'm just estimating. I don't know. Probably could go a little farther or a little less, but I'd recommend going a little farther if anything. But works fine. But you can put it wherever you want. Because if you put it in the middle, you'll get less sway from either end. If you put it this end, you might get more at the end. I don't know. Just whatever you think, because prop wash could be here and give it more. Just wherever you want to put it really doesn't make a difference. As long as you put both of the servos equally out, you should be fine. That's the only thing I have on this. Now we're going to go to how the wing attaches and comes out, and also we'll look at the landing gear and how it's hooked up. Alright, so we're going to take a quick stop real quick. We're going to look at the power system and landing gear, and then we'll figure out how the wing comes off. Alright, so up here you still have your motor, and then the wires, we made them run down, and they come, we got them glued down here, and then we just stuck our ESC right smack in the middle, about as far back as we could, so we get enough wire for the batteries. As you can see, it's 100 amp SBSC, which is 5.5 volts, you know, whatever. This is a 2 to 6 cell LiPo, so we're running max on that, but it's doing fine because you're really only supposed to have like an 80 amp, but we normally go up just so you don't blow them out and possibly lose your plane because you lost power. But anyways, as you can see, the light ply goes all the way down pretty much and back to the wing enters, and it helps hold the wing in better. And then attached to that, this is epoxied in. This is a big metal, not metal, big piece of wood that attaches in, and we actually have a piece of balsa back there that's like that thick and that tall, and it just sticks straight up against these like this, and then this piece goes on top, or not really on top, it goes in from the side, and we actually drilled holes through both of those and stuck wooden, like pretty much barbecue skewers but a little bit bigger, through both of them and epoxied those in to help keep it sturdy. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought we were using the ones on the side, but it turns out I guess we're using the ones on top right now because we broke the other ones before, so. But the other ones worked fine. as long as you get it still stable in here. I wouldn't recommend putting your landing gear back here hanging over kind of where it should be, because we did that and we could never get the strength to hold it because it always just wanted to go just break right off. So I recommend putting it up here and attaching it very well to plywood or whatever, light ply or something you have. And let's get to the wing and see how it goes on. Alright, so we're here back at the wing and we're going to see how it comes apart. And for this we use these little plastic like breakaway screws. They seem to work fine, and that's the same thing we have on the landing gear. Luckily, sometimes these would break and sometimes the whole thing would break off, but it's nice when these just break because you just buy some new ones and put it back on, and they've seemed to hold enough to do a normal landing if you get a good one. Alright, so this is a one-piece wing, and it comes out because it has two screws to hold it in the back with balsa there, as you can see, and it just pulls out because you got those two little rods. They were actually these squares we used for the servos, but my dad made them into circles on a sander. But you can just buy a dowel rod, it'd probably work a lot better. But those go back into a plate right here that has two holes for each of them to help secure it, and that's glued on here and the bottom, and then there's another one even farther back here that the ends go through. So it's supported by two plates to hold the rods in place, and they're glued in tight. And then we also have a big foam that's about actually like 6 wide right here that goes up to the back of that, and it's just a triangle that matches the shape of the wing, so it gives it sturdy, so it's nice and sturdy right where the fuselage meets the wing. And it also helps support the back deal that holds those rods to help the wing go in right. So if you look, you got your servo wires. You have to cut a hole. I know it doesn't look the prettiest. We have a hole here, and that's where the two screws go in. So you stick your servo wires through, and once you get those in, okay, they're in. Now you take the front and you stick those two rods into the holes. You might be able to see them come out down there. I don't know. Stick it in, set it down, and then you just have to line these up, screw them in. Alright, so we're here, and I'm just going to tell you a few more things about it, and then I'll let you go. If you wanted to know what these graphics are on the wing, that's the same thing as what I did up here. It's construction paper. I had a template, and I traced it out onto one sheet of orange construction paper, and I just piled a bunch of sheets on. I went at it with an X-Acto knife. It took forever, but it looks pretty good in the end. From a distance, it looks even better. So, I guess it works out. And if you want to know how this thing flies, I would say if you want to know how big plane flies, this gives you that feel. It gives you a nice slow flying characteristic. It's nice and smooth. You probably couldn't do hardcore 3D with it. You definitely would need a bigger motor to try that, because the weight of it isn't very much, and the motor can do it. It does it fine. It's just the amount of drag on this huge airfoil on this wing just creates so much drag. It just flies so slow. It flies great. And if you're wondering the flight time on those 4,000 milliamp batteries up front, we fly about 7 minutes on them. You could probably fly 10. I just take it easy because I don't want to blow them up. If you have never flown a big plane and you don't think you have the money to fly one, this is the plane. It's just great. I love it. It was about 20 sheets for the airframe. That's of Dollar Tree foam board. That's just because I screwed up some. You could, if you want to try to build this, I should have the plans out soon. I am working on those. I'm trying to get them out. I don't know when they'll be out, but don't be looking in like the next couple weeks. So probably be out farther beyond that. And when those come out, as soon as they come out, I'm going to be already building another one of these, and I'm going to be doing a build video while I build it. Yeah, that might be a couple hours long. It'll definitely be in parts. You know, I'll build the wing, I'll build the fuselage, I'll build the tail or whatever. But I will try to get the plans and stuff out because I just want to see some other people. I want to get your input and see how you like it and what things you change, so I know to update that in the plans or tell people that this is a good idea or something. So I'm going to try to get that out to help you